I'm here with John Sheehan, General Manager of Metinvest, which is a wholesale division of Metricon Homes. As you know, Metricon Homes is a legend in the construction industry, and I'm with another legend. Thank you, John, for joining me.
Pleasure. Lovely to be here. Nice to meet you.
Great. John, so it's been an interesting time of the year, right after the pandemic. And what do you think is driving the markets? And it's booming right now. Everyone was predicting 30 to 40% crash, and now it's the complete opposite. What do you think is the main driver behind this?
Well, there's a lot of things that have contributed to the kind of boom that we're going through at the moment. Record low interest rates is obviously a big thing that always drives the property market. So that first and foremost is probably one of the major driving factors. How Australia as a whole has combated the COVID pandemic situation, I guess world leading in that regard. That has also been a bit of a factor, or a major factor. Thirdly, the pent-up demand that we had during 2020, where the economy has been good, record low interest rates, employment was still really great. People who weren't in the hospitality or travel industry were in many regards unaffected by COVID. Savings levels went up. So as soon as things started to improve, and I think CoreLogic looked at data over the last 12 months, and you'd say that kind of the tail end of November, early December was really the bottom of the market. And since then, as sentiments picked up, the market has picked up with it. So those are probably the major factors that have probably contributed to it. We see now as a really great time to be entering the property market in Melbourne, especially around, land is still, whilst challenging, still able to get land compared to other domestic markets like Sydney. We're still very affordable. So many of those factors kind of puts us in a position to see good growth in the medium to short term.
Sure. And in terms of the construction industry as a whole, what do you foresee it's going to happen in the next 1 to 2 years in the construction industry?
Sure. The construction industry is really market dependent. So when we see increase in demand, you'll see the flow on in terms of land prices continuing to increase, and civil contractors will start to increase their prices for civil works, which will put an upward pressure on land prices. The flow on that is that house prices will likely increase towards the tail end of this year as builders struggle to continue to absorb the cost of construction price increases. So if you think about it, Metricon sells over 5,000 homes a year. This year will continue to hit a new record nationwide. The reality is bricklayers, plumbers, electricians will see the increase in the property market, and they'll likely start to increase their trade rates as other builders start to try and not poach, but try and encourage them to move from one builder to another. So you'll see the cost of employment go up, cost of trades go up. So I think the main challenge for us is going to be ability to access land and also upward pressure on build prices. The good thing at Metricon though is any of the packages that we sell are fully fixed price. So whilst you might buy a block of land that might be titling in 6 to 12 months time, and whilst the market was continuing to fire and upward pressure on prices, with Metricon, our most important thing for all of our customers is price certainty. And so we work to a fixed price contract, which means you have certainty moving forward with us.
Yeah, sure. And we touched upon this briefly. In terms of the lands, it is a issue right now in sourcing lands, own occupiers as well as investors. Do you think this will be the case in the next 1 to 2 years in terms of the land supply?
We don't see that slowing down. Whilst Home Builder Grant has probably come out of the market just a little bit, which is probably maybe another factor that I probably should have touched on in that first point, is that Home Builder Grant has been a huge driver, obviously, in the market. For us, land supply, if the rates continue the way that they're going, we're already seeing a constriction in land supply. We would say over the next 6 to 12 months, definitely we'll continue to see upward pressure on prices because of the lack of supply. Past that, we'll probably go into a more normal market where land supply and demand are about with each other. One of our developer partners, RPM, who look after a huge amount of the land holdings here in Victoria, say that in a normal market, when the land supply and demand are at what they call equilibrium, is where there is about 2 months worth of land supply for the market. Right. At the moment, if they were to stop releasing land, they would have about 2 weeks worth of land. Wow. And the market will have absorbed it. So it is a really hot market at the moment.
Yep. And at Metinvest, we do fixed price turnkey packages.
Yep.
Based on your client feedback, what are they saying? Are they seeing the importance of having a fixed price turnkey product?
Yeah, sure. It's market dependent. And in terms of investors, absolutely. Investors want to look at the overall price, including your landscaping, your fencing, letterbox, driveways, everything, when they're assessing yield on a property, because they want to look at the total cost. Okay. So for investors, absolutely critical that it is full turnkey, which is why we at Metricon do that. And we're starting to see it increasingly more important for first home buyers and that whole owner-occupier space as well. That's because people are time poor and they want to be able to get a key, move into their property. So investors, critical. Owner-occupiers, starting to see a move towards that full turnkey product as well.
Yep. Sure. And in the construction industry, I mean, we see a lot of opportunities because of this current situation. But what do you see in terms of challenges in the construction industry for the next 1 to 2 years?
It's what I touched on briefly before. It's housing affordability and being able to build a quality home for a good price is at the core of what Metricon wants to do. And the issue with a hotter market is that we will be able to hold that for a period of time, but there will be a commercial point where we will need to start to see house prices continue to move up, and that will be industry-wide. So I think that's our biggest challenge at the moment, sourcing and continuing to keep good trades, building in the right timeframes as we promise our customers, and also keeping a lid on prices is probably the big things.
And as the largest builder in Australia, quality is key for you guys. What sort of measures do you take to be on top of the quality of each and every home?
Yeah, it's a really good question. We pride ourselves not being on just being the biggest builder in the country, which we are, but also being the number one builder in many factors. We've been building for over 40 years and year on year building over 5,500 homes every year. You don't get to this size and quality without being a quality builder, not just a volume builder. Because the volume building world, the term volume can sometimes just mean quick slapdash, not great quality. So we've been around for a very long time. Secondly, having a lifetime structural warranty is huge for us as well. And our market, it really resonates with our market because it says that we will put our stamp of quality on a product for the life of that home. The other ones are things like we have industry-leading caps on our site managers and how many homes they're able to look after at a time. This will mean that each site manager will look after a smaller number of homes compared to other builders in the industry, which means you have a better quality outcome in the end. We also don't delineate between our display program and our homeowner program, which means that the construction team that look after our beautiful display homes, where we're spending $2, $3, $4 million on these homes, are the same people that will be building your homes. On top of that, besides our 40 years in the industry, lifetime guarantee, we also have a 6-star quality assurance program, which means that through the build process, you'll have independence in terms of the construction program.
Right, beautiful. And again, being a national builder, what sort of inquiry levels and what sort of demand do you see in all the states? Is it the same or do you feel different demand levels?
Yeah, look, generally speaking, there's been a increase in inquiry and transactions across all states because of the pent-up demand and home builder grant from last year. Yes, each market segment is slightly different. We're seeing both Victoria and Queensland being the front runners in terms of new construction.
Right.
The land supply issues we're having here, we're having in Queensland as well, which suggests that we're in a really, upswing of a market. New South Wales has seen an increase as well, but not to the levels we've had. And that's probably because they've had their growth over the last 10 or 15 years. And so investors probably aren't running to secure house and land packages in New South Wales, but they're seeing really great value still in Victoria and in Queensland.
Yeah. Thank you so much, John.
Absolute
that was
pleasure.
valuable insights. There you go. Metricon Homes, some valuable insights on construction industry. Please feel free to ask any questions you might have, and John or myself will be more than happy to answer your questions.